another video in the same day. I don't know, maybe I am becoming a content creator. So this video is about going to an Ivy League school with a terminal illness, a muscular wasting disorder called Duchenne muscular dystrophy. Again, if you're new to my channel, all these videos are totally unscripted, coming straight from my brain. And I'm doing this because I'm trying to build up my YouTube personality and I want to become more spontaneous. But anyway, back to the topic of this video. So my name is Yuva. I go to the University of Pennsylvania Engineering School, and I'm in a specialized program called the NETS program, which is basically like the CS program, but combined with a bunch of other cool CS elective classes and things like game theory, not web design, but like internet design, like how the actual World Wide Web was designed, and then just other cool, interesting things. Like we learn about other massive networks, like things related to society today, especially if you're interested in learning about blockchain, or you want to get into like these metaverses, which are essentially in a lot of ways like social networks. So we learn all about social networks and how people are networked and how technology enables people to be networked. So yeah, it's definitely a cool program. And if you're a if you are thinking of applying to UPenn and you're interested in computer science, I would definitely recommend looking into the NETS program before you apply, because you do have to apply directly into the program. I think you can transfer later on, but I would recommend looking into that. But I'm gonna have a whole separate video on this program where I go more in depth, and maybe also like hopefully if I can do like some vlog style videos where I go to some of these classes, that could also be helpful if you're thinking of if you're interested in this program. But the main point of this video is about my life at an Ivy League school with a pretty big illness, a pretty big disease. So when I say terminal illness, it's obviously not as terminal as some other conditions out there. So I'm definitely fortunate for that. It's not like I have like 6 months left to live or anything. But the average life expectancy of someone with my disability is around 30 years old, and I just turned 20. So yeah, sometimes that can be a little scary for me to think about, and there's definitely all kinds of thoughts that go through my head when I think about that. But for me, there's like hope on the horizon. There's a lot of new medicines out there that could hopefully stop this disease from like affecting my vital organs, because essentially with Duchenne muscular dystrophy, your body is lacking this protein called dystrophin. So whenever we move around and like we contract our muscles, your dystrophin is a protein that protects them from getting damaged. So I don't make that protein, and this means that every time I move around, my muscles are getting slightly damaged. So when I was a kid, I could still like walk and run around, and also when I was just born, my muscles weren't used too much, so I still had a lot of like the normal strength that a person would have when they're a baby. But then around like 9, 10, I started losing my ability to walk, and now I am in a power wheelchair full time. And yeah, so I drive around with the joystick like this because I literally don't even have the strength to push around a manual wheelchair. So yeah, that kind of sucks. And what sucks the most is that since your vital organs like your heart and your diaphragm, which help you breathe, are also muscles, this disease doesn't give a shit. It's going to affect your heart and your breathing muscles too. So that's kind of what makes it a terminal illness and affects the life expectancy. But I'm going to do a lot more videos about living with this condition. And I think hopefully I can share. It's forced me to come up with a lot of like philosophies on life, and I'm working on an algorithm to be like happy and content, which is basically like I want to devise this I want to devise this actual set of steps that people can take. It's not just like, oh, like these wisdoms or like, oh, do this, do that, like an actual algorithm, a step-by-step process that people can use to become more happy and more within the present moment, despite like whatever crazy shit is going on in their life. So back to my life at college. So having this disability has certainly given me a unique perspective, um, and has given me a lot of interesting, random, fun experiences that hopefully you guys find interesting. So I feel like the first main pillar of coming to an Ivy League, especially UPenn, that appealed to me was the party scene. So I don't know, sometimes there's like a lot of, um, I guess, I don't know, the way to describe it is like people tend to have a lot of like assumptions about people with disabilities. Like, I don't know, they don't like to party, but the thing is, I always enjoy a good banger of a party because my philosophy of life is that everything for me goes nuts and crazy all the time, and there's no prediction. So I kind of feel like life is one big party, and I just really enjoy partying. So that was definitely a big turn on when I came to Penn. But what was really annoying when I got to campus is I found out that like literally all the frat houses on campus are not accessible at all. And I mean, a lot of the frat brothers are really nice. I mean, I know there's a lot of like stigma toward like Greek life, but from what I've found, there's a lot of really nice, like great brothers, and a lot of people are even willing to help like lift my wheelchair like inside and then down like a flight of steps into these basements so I could go to the parties. But I don't know, I found that to be a little scary, like having a bunch of like drunk frat bros carry my wheelchair down. And so yeah, I've had to avoid a lot of like parties on the in camp on the on campus frat houses, which has really sucked because I really think honestly, if anything, people who have to deal with like all kinds of shit in their lives from a disability are the ones that need to be partying. And I think it should be a law that all frat houses and sororities are made accessible for people in wheelchairs. But I still have found my way into parties. I feel like I feel like I like to figure these things out. So sometimes it requires a lot of like planning and strategy on my end. But one thing that I really enjoy is going to darties or the day parties, where I can literally just go into the like back lot of a lot of these frats, which are totally accessible. And then I found like I just to try and like do my own things. I'll throw parties in my dorm, and I like to go to concerts and stuff. But I'm hoping that there's a way that I can join Greek life somehow, because that was honestly like one of my like top one of my big goals coming to campus. I know that's probably not a goal for most people, but like the way my life is, I felt like if I can conquer like doing Greek life and just being part of all that with such a major disability, then that's a pretty big achievement. So I think if I've met a lot of really nice brothers, and I think if I am able to like figure out a way to like get a bid into a frat, because obviously I can't do a lot of the crazy like hazing stuff that most people have to go through. But I think if I can figure out a bid, I can figure out a way to get into the house. Like I can get friends to build a ramp for me. Like I'll figure something out. But yeah, so I think that's the party side of things. And then moving to the side that probably most people care about when they go to an Ivy League school is just the academic life and the work life. And in terms of the work life, oh my God. I mean, being in the engineering school, I guess I'm a little biased and presenting like a skewed opinion, but the workload is crazy. So what I found is that there's just a lot of times there's just so much work that I'm piled in the workload that the classes that I actually originally enjoyed, I all of a sudden like lose interest in them because I'm just trying to get to the end of the assignment. Then after that, I turn in the next assignment. So I lose my ability to just like sit and chill and enjoy the class. So that's kind of created a lot of like, I don't know, anxiety for me. And I think that creates anxiety for a lot of people. Actually, recently UPenn got rated as as a school, as an Ivy League with like one of the highest depression and anxiety rates. And I wonder why that is. I'm talking to you, Math 114 professor. But anyway, I found that for me, I just have to time manage my shit like crazy, because I also have a lot of other stuff I have to do. Like there's a lot of physical therapy appointments and doctor's appointments and things that I have to do just on a daily basis to maintain my health. So trying to do that while also like coding up all this like crazy stuff for the assignments and all these random like languages. Like I have to do one assignment in one language and another assignment in another coding language, and like that just drives me nuts. So yeah, I've learned that I just kind of have to time manage. And sometimes, I mean, I get to a point where I just can't get everything done because I have to prioritize like my health and my disability. So I'm like, all right, I gotta get this done, but I also have homework to do. So sometimes it just I can't avoid it. I have to like email my professors and just ask for an extension. And that may seem like a good thing, like getting extension, but it actually just snowballs and things get out of control because after you want ask for one extension, then you have to do that assignment, then you also have to do the next assignment, and things just snowball until one day you'll just walk into my dorm and see the puddle of what was once me in my wheelchair. So instead of just melting away, I kind of just have to manage my time, and I feel like that's something a lot of people learn, and I'm just learning it as a freshman. So hopefully I get better at that. And then dorm life. Yeah, okay, dorm life. So for me, dorm life was a big shift. I vividly remember the day that my parents packed up all my stuff in the car. We all got ready. It was going to be a long drive to campus. And then after the 10-minute drive to campus, they dropped me off. And yeah, that's it. Big move. And I mean, I knew I was just really going to miss my family because the next time I'd see them would be like in 2 days when my mom dropped off food and took my laundry, and maybe the time after that when I went home for lunch. But for me, yeah, campus moving to dorm was not that much of a transition because I literally live 10 minutes away. So I'm like honestly like home half the time during the semester, like just for food or for other things that I need. But for me, the biggest, it still was like kind of a big transition because living with this level of disability, I need help with like all physical tasks. Like I literally need someone to wipe my ass and I need people to tie my shoes and just like yeah, a ton of stuff. So my parents always used to do that, but now living on campus, I actually have a caregiver who's also now one of my good friends who is now the point person for wiping my ass and helping me out. So it is so I'm still not like fully independent. I can't really ever be fully independent with this disability, but I still feel like that level of independence because like now obviously like I'm in the dorm, like I'm calling my own shots. So yeah, it's still been fun like living in a dorm and just having that experience. And especially with the dorm room that I got, which is if you're familiar with the housing on UPenn, this is Lauderhouse, which is like one of the newer dorms, and the room is literally like an apartment. Like I have our own bathroom, living room, bedroom. It's so nice. So it honestly just feels like I got my own apartment, which is like really cool as a freshman. And yeah, I guess like the thing is, it's challenging for a lot of people with my level of disability to have a setup like this where they can kind of live on their own because like independent living is really challenging, especially because it's oftentimes hard to find like someone cool enough to be willing to like help you out with like all your physical needs and care enough as someone in your family would. So I think caregiving is an awesome opportunity for anyone interested in helping out someone with a disability, like to live more independently. And honestly, it's really good if you're in medical school, like on a break or in nursing school. It works. I've been told by other caregivers that it works really well as something on a resume for like future jobs in like the nursing or medical sector. So yeah, like even if you're just doing it as like a summer job, it'll really help someone out. I'll do another video on that too. There's a lot of videos I gotta do because I'm just starting off this channel. But adios. Hopefully this video is helpful to some of you, and I hope to have more videos soon. Okay, I have to figure out how to turn this off. Okay.